What's up guys, and welcome to another episode of A Healthy Dose of Fran. Today the Avatar returns in a video looking at one of the coolest concepts introduced into the Avatar lore in the book The Rise of Kyoshi, in probably one of my most favourite characters from that book, besides Rengi and Kyoshi, and that is the character of Lao Ge. And the new thing that he introduces that possibly gives an explanation as to why Kyoshi lives so long, and that is immortality. So today I'll be looking into the invention of immortality. Now, Lao Ge from Rise of Kyoshi is literally the coolest character. He is known as the immortal Lao Ge and has lived for thus far unknown amounts of years. There is a guess that it's been at least 200 due to the fact that he has worked with Guru Laghima and Guru Shoken, who are sort of philosophical and spiritual rivals to each other during that time. And they lived many years ago, which gives this idea that he's actually a lot older than most people would think. But what most people don't know is how he's able to live that long. Well, firstly, I want to put it out there that he is not actually immortal. He is, in a sense, immortal. But he is mortal in the fact that he can still die, like in battle, for example. But other than that, he is technically, I guess, immortal because he is living for so long, just with the ability to still die. And the way in which he has been able to live for so long, I think is based in three different things tied to three different gurus. Guru Laghima, Guru Shoken, and the conversations and lessons we get from Guru Patik on chakras. Now, chakras are a really interesting thing that Lao Ge himself brings up in The Rise of Kyoshi, when telling Kyoshi that he will only ever work with people who have all 7 chakras open or all 7 chakras closed, because if only a few are open or a few are closed, they can be easily persuaded or have their emotions change their minds halfway through. They aren't as well trusted as those who have all open or all closed. But the thing that I want to focus on are Guru Laghima and Guru Shoken's teachings, particularly the fact that they conflict with one another, which is why they were kind of philosophical and spiritual rivals during their time. And the fact that Lao Ge is a mentee to both of them. He studies under the two of them at different times in his life. And it's after his learning with them, I believe, he uncovered the secret to immortality. And it is tied to their teachings and chakras. But to get a little bit more on what their teachings were, these are the quotes describing their philosophical thoughts. From Shoken, he advocated that people should follow their own path, unburdened by the morals or beliefs of society. By ignoring the opinions of others, it was possible to discover one's self and exist without compunction. That wasn't said right. I tried. Then from Laghima. By relinquishing his earthly attachments, Laghima achieved flight and was able to live the last portion of his life untethered from the earth. And it is from those two teachings and those two understandings of both physical and mental separation from the world that leads to this idea and reality of immortality, because by combining those two teachings of the physical and mental separation, which could either lead to the fully unlocking or fully locking of the chakras, leading to it being basically kind of being complete, it allows a person to detach themselves from the world in full. And as such, it allows a person to detach themselves from mortality, something that is innately tied to the opposite teachings of both Shoken and Laghima. By Laghima becoming unattached, literally, from the earth, he is no longer mortal, in a sense, because he isn't going with what mortals do, which is stay attached to the earth in full and can't be unattached from the earth. Then in terms of Shoken, the way his teaching work is to literally be a separate person from society, to not connect to society. So those two different things, which are really tied into the way in which humanity and mortality work, to use both of those at the same time and to have the chakras tie in with the unlocking or locking of all of them, basically creates a complete separation from the world itself. And it's this separation which really ties into this idea of immortality. Because Lao Ge himself is a lone wolf, so to speak. Throughout the whole book, while he does interact with the Flying Opera Company and Kyoshi and all those people, he isn't there for long periods of time. And I believe that's because of the fact that these teachings and the secret to immortality is separation. Physical, mental, emotional separation. And I believe actually that as a prediction for Shadow of Kyoshi, his relationship with Kyoshi herself is going to grow. He's going to teach her this secret of immortality. And by doing that and by connecting with her and building this relationship and friendship with her, he is going to start slowly dying. His immortality is going to fade because he is connecting himself to the world. He is becoming connected to Kyoshi, both mentally, physically, and emotionally. And once those three things happen, all of his chakras are going to change. Some of them will open, like the one of love and friendship and things like that are going to open. He'll be going against Shoken's teachings of that mental separation in terms of society. And he'll be going against Laghima's teachings because he will be tethered to the world by his friendship with Kyoshi. And so his immortality will fade and he will die. But not before teaching Kyoshi how she can live almost forever. And I think this is possibly also going to predict how Kyoshi's life will be. In the few flashbacks that we do get of Kyoshi's story, she is nearly always alone. We see her with no one. When she is separating her islands, she is going there alone. She has no one with her to support her or to make sure she is okay. And yes, I know she is the Avatar, but even in this book, she is surrounded by people that she trusts and is connected with people. But we don't see any of that in her past as an older woman. I believe that with these teachings and the fact that she will become separate from everyone else, that is how she is able to sustain herself for so long. She stays separated from society, from people, from connections, from everything, unlocking all of her chakras to be able to go into the Avatar state and to be able to not have her emotions pulled each way so she can be a better Avatar for the time that she is in. And it is only because of the time that she is in that she will be doing this. She'll be staying separate so she won't be corrupted, that she will live for as long as she did. And it's only when she realises that it is now time to move on will she make these connections, most likely with her Kyoshi warriors, and then die and move on to her next life. It is these things to do with Lao Ge, both with his personality, his actions, who he has worked with, and what those two people represented, as well as the discussions that we do get from Guru Batik about chakras and the things that they represent, I think is how he was able to unlock, in a sense, this immortality. But I believe it is these teachings and the separation of oneself from what we would consider mortal and things that make us human, societies, connections, emotions, just all these things that don't make us separate from other people, is what has made him able to be immortal and live for as long as he has, because he isn't, in a sense, doing what humans should be. So immortality, and the secret to it, is by a physical, mental and spiritual separation from the world and those around you. But what do you guys think? Do you think that is possibly the secret to immortality, this idea of separation from the world and those around you? Or do you think it is something else entirely? Whatever the case, let me know in the comment section down below. As always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you go to the description box down below, you will find links to all of my social media, my merchandise store and my Patreon, where if you want to support me, that is the place to go do that. But if you don't want to do that, then be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and click that notification bell to know when new videos are coming out. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.